ripening YouTube. So I'm like 2/3 of the way through my grove, doing my pruning, my before harvest pruning, and it's pretty awesome to see. You can see all the fruit now, and one of the things that happens a lot of times when you're pruning this time of the year, what happens is sometimes you end up accidentally cutting some fruit down, and you know, that happens. The wind's gonna knock them down, I'm gonna knock them down, things are gonna happen. But this part of my grove, starting from about right here, I've got a series of green eating mangoes, and I went ahead and collected one from each tree, and I'm going to do a little side-by-side comparison. So the first contestant is Pim Sen Mun, and this is a really small tree. I've already had a couple of mangoes off of this already. There's a few left hanging on, and they need to probably be picked for eating green. There's a few on this side. The next one is Nam Dak Mai. This one is traditionally eaten ripe, but it is often used as a green mango as well. So I grabbed one of those. It's kind of like the standard productive Thai mango. This is the Nam Dak Mai number 4. The next one is Kiao Savoy. And Kiao Savoy is primarily, almost exclusively eaten as a green mango. That's really what it's for. I think the name even means like fresh green or something, or crispy green. I'm not sure exactly. Has something to do with it being green. But Kiao Savoy seems kind of like a lanky tree, but fairly productive on the one side of the tree. The other side of the tree didn't do anything. That one's not a green one. The next one over here is a small tree called Jinhuang. And you can see it makes beautiful fruit. It's only got a few on it because, as you can see, the tree's relatively small, but I've been told that it's comparable to Nam Dak Mai, just a larger fruit. And then the last one on this row is the Cat Saigon, and this one's a monster. I mean, from the moment I planted this thing, it's made every year. It's made large fruit, and this year is no different. It's just now getting big enough where it actually can hold the fruit up off the ground. In years past, I've struggled to keep the fruit from doing this, basically, where they just sit on the ground. You'll see I've got my props on some of these, but so I've got one of each of those in here. They're labeled Nam Dak Mai, Pim Sen Mun, Kiao Savoy, Jinhuang, Cat Saigon. These are some Indian mangoes, Malika, that fell off the other day, so I haven't dealt with those yet. Let's go check these things out. All right, so here's our lineup. I've got my tools ready. Got a little peeler. Got this one from an Asian grocery store. Cheap knife from Sam's Club or wherever it was, and an old cutting board. So, you know, I'm aware that there are very large populations of people all over the world that eat green mangoes, and they eat them in different ways. So if you're watching this and you're in one of those populations, I know that you know about this better than me. I respect you and your experience. I'm just going to give you my experience and my taste. And there's a lot of us that are not aware of this, you know, that are buying mango trees, especially in my area. And, you know, I tell a lot of my clients that you should be planting green mangoes for a number of reasons. But with that advice, you know, they want to know which mangoes. So it's cool to have a little bit of a side-by-side. So the reason I tell a lot of my clients to plant green mangoes is because of those populations I just mentioned. Green mangoes are very easy to sell. There's a high demand for them, and they're also easy to deal with because you harvest them when they're green. They're not, you know, they're not going to get bruised. You can kind of pile them up in a box and you don't have to worry so much about them. So all I've done is I'm just peeling one side of it, just so you can see inside. So this is that Kiao Savoy, and I'm expecting this to be crispy and mild. Which it is, a little bit tart. And it may be that I may have cut this one just a little earlier than was ideal, but I wanted to have it at the same time as the other ones. All right, so that's pretty much primo right there. Okay, we won. So this tastes to me like a Granny Smith apple. Sour, but not overly sour. It's crispy, nice and firm. All right, so let's put that to the side. That's Kiao Savoy. Let's compare that with a Nam Dak Mai. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the same thing. So, I know that in like in Vietnam, I think Thailand as well, this is usually eaten, you know, peeled, sliced, and then it's used as like a kind of like you would dip vegetables in a sauce. They dip it in a sauce, and the sauce is usually something that's spicy, savory, salty, and sweet all together. That's kind of like one of the hallmarks of Southeast Asian cuisine, is having all the flavors all at once. And I personally love it that way. One of the dips that I make a lot of is really simple. It's just cayenne pepper, sugar, and salt. That's one that I learned from a Vietnamese friend of mine. Another one that's pretty common is to use like a shrimp paste, and they make more of a wet dipping sauce. Let's see if I can do this. All right, so it looks very, very similar, Kiao Savoy to the Nam Dak Mai. So let's see how the flavor lines up. It's too bad I don't have anybody here to taste test these with me. I'll have to invite people next time. All right, so this one doesn't have nearly as much of the apple flavor. It's a little bit plainer. Good crisp texture. The tartness is more, it's more acidic than it is like citrusy, if that makes any sense. And again, this is a sample of one. It may be the timing. I may have done this all wrong. But still very good. It's funny, this one tastes more like an apple, and this one, it's more like slightly acidic sour, but still very good. Especially if you had this with like some sweeter dipping sauce to go with it, that'd be really awesome. All right, let's see what we have next. Next one is Pim Sen Mun, and this is kind of a funny looking one. It has a little nipple sticking off the side of it. I'm not sure exactly what that's all about. Another way that I've had green mangoes in the past, which I really liked, was in Costa Rica. And in Costa Rica, they'll kind of like, they'll chop it up really finely and pickle it. And they make, it's almost like a coleslaw. And you can buy it on the roadside stands. They'll have it, you know, in the refrigerated area. And it's so refreshing. And I remember buying it over and over again when I was in Costa Rica, and like sipping on the pickling juice afterwards. And I just loved it. I thought it was great. Maybe slide this stuff over to the side. So in Latin America, I'm sure there's other ways that it's prepared like that in Latin America and in the Caribbean and stuff, but that's the way that I can remember having it, which I greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, let's see what. So Pim Sen Mun is more than likely getting closer to being ripe. I can see that it's got a little bit more color than the Nam Dak Mai. Nam Dak Mai is pretty much white. This one's got a little bit of yellow to it. And I know that some people have started to pick these ripe now locally, so I'm expecting this to be a little... Oh man. All right. Wow, that one's... If you didn't tell me what this was, I would think it was an apple. Okay. So for me, Nam Dak Mai is getting set aside. It's not even in the same category as Pim Sen Mun. This one's, wow. This one's good enough that I just want to keep eating it. I don't need to go any further. Alright, I'm going to try Kyo Savoy again now that I have the flavor in my mouth of the Pim Sen Mun. So this is going back to Kyo Savoy. You can see that it's less ripe. This one's getting closer. So it may be that, as I said, I'm not experienced with green mangoes. It may be that it's about the timing, getting it just before ripe or picking it when it would ripen and eating it green instead. Maybe that's the way to go. Kyo Savoy is still really good. But this one is starting to get a little bit of sweetness. So for my palate, Pim Sen Mun, I could eat that all by itself. It doesn't even need a dipping sauce. Kyo Savoy, pretty good, but at the stage that I'm eating it now, I would want to have something with it probably. But again, both very good. Nam Dak Mai would be a distant third place. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So we got Pim Sen Mun is in first place. Kyo Savoy second. Let's try out the Jinhuang. So Jinhuang, the other name for this one that I'm aware of is Golden Queen. And it's supposed to be similar to Nam Dak Mai. I don't know if it's necessarily a green mango. I think it's in the same lineages, but it might not be typically eaten this way. Maybe it's more of a eat it ripe kind of mango. But either way, we're going to try it out right now and just see where it stands up to the other ones. Because inquiring minds want to know. Alright, so let's get a little slice. Ooh, bumping the camera. Alright, so not a whole bunch of ripeness in there. Let's just see what we get. Yeah, it tastes well, not quite as sour as the Nam Dak Mai, but about the same. So this one and the Nam Dak Mai, I'm wondering if I waited a little longer, would they start to sweeten up? But for my taste test, I'm gonna set this one aside. Pim Sen Mun still in the lead. Let's try out this Cat Saigon. This one I know to be a Vietnamese variety. I don't know what cat means, but I hear the word cat. It's used a lot, so it must be like a common word, and then obviously Saigon is in Vietnam. Again, I don't know if this one is necessarily always eaten green, or if it's more often eaten ripe. But because it is in that same lineage, I'm gonna try it out. And there's other green mangoes that I am missing from my collection. I know there's I think it's Pram Kai Mao. There's Kiao Yai. I'm sure there's other ones that I'm not aware of, and that's just in the Southeast Asian genre of green mangoes. You know, there's other types of mangoes that are eaten green, especially like in India. From what I understand, they eat green mangoes more as a sour component, and so they pickle them and they use them as a condiment. And then I think they also dry them, because I know that there's the green mango powder that you can use as a spice or as a flavoring. So I think the Indian palate they're really looking for the sour, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly which mangoes fall into that category. All right, here's the Cat Saigon. It's looking very much like the last one. Tastes pretty much the same. So, I mean, I guess the ones that are known to be premium green mangoes, the Pim Sen Mun and the Kyo Savoy, come out ahead for me. These other ones are kind of, you know, in a pinch. You could use them that way, but maybe better off letting them ripen up. I have one more oddball out here, at least oddball for this group because it's not from Southeast Asia. This is a Malika. This is an Indian mango. And I hadn't thought to try this one before, except that when I was pruning, I accidentally knocked a couple of these off the tree, so I figure why not add it to the mix and just see what the difference is. Let's see. This one's a little bit more difficult to peel for some reason. That's interesting. So if you're out there watching this and and I have blasphemed your love of green mangoes, I've misrepresented them somehow, go ahead and comment down below and tell me how it's really done, what the best variety is. I'm curious to hear what the general thoughts are about this, because I'm still learning, and you know, I never claimed to be the know-all guy. I'm a learner. All right, so this one's like super white, and it may be just that it's just super unripe. So, because it does, you know, the mangoes get a lot bigger than that too. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it a small taste. I'm expecting this to be sour. Wow, that's completely different. That's actually really good. All right, so this one, it tastes like lemony, lemon limey, and it has a different crunch. It's not like a crispy crunch. It's a little bit more of a dense crunch. Very good, actually. But this one being so tart, it would need, I can see why you'd want to sweeten it, make a pickle with it, chop it fine and mix it with something else. So that's the Malika, another Indian one. All right, so that's it. I'm slightly full from eating all those. I wasn't really prepared to eat a lot of food, but for me the big winner was this Pimsin one. It's probably not a fair fight because this one I think was just slightly riper than the rest. That Kiel Savoy was also very good, and I would totally take either one of these if offered to me. Let me know what you guys think down below. Give it a like, comment, share. If you guys are interested in more taste tests or comparisons like this, let me know. And if you want to come taste them for yourself, go to my website, peaceriverorganics.com. We're going to be doing tours and tastings every Sunday during the mango season. We're doing small groups that we're maxing out at 10 people. I'm probably going to start, as the tours fill up, I'll start adding more time slots to accommodate more demand as it starts to come up through the season. But reserve your spot early because I think they're going to go pretty fast. Like I said, I'm capping it at 10 per person because I want to give a tour where everybody can hear me and everybody can see what we're doing, and it's an intimate experience. And then the tasting will be whatever's ripe off the farm. Mostly probably going to be mangoes, but there might be bananas and other things that are going on. And you'll have, after the tour, you'll have the opportunity to buy some mangoes if you'd like, take them home. We're going to be doing that right here in Punta Gorda, Florida. Like I said, go to wrong website. Go to peaceriverorganics.com and you can schedule a tour. So you can do a private tour with your own group, or you can do a group tour with whoever shows up. And I hope to see you there. See you next time.